Hi, everybody. It's so nice to have you online. My name is Jen McNeely. I'm the Assistant Director for the Masters of International Business program, and we want to thank all of you for joining us for this webinar. Just a few housekeeping items. Should you need to leave early, don't worry. We will be recording this webinar and then passing it along to everybody that has joined us. There is going to be time for question and answers. Feel free to throw your questions into the chat or the question and answer panel, and we will get to your questions at the end of the panel. We're very excited today for our webinar because it's going to be a very interactive webinar in the fact that we will be introducing you guys to a few of our students that are joining us as panelists, and they're going to be sharing their experiences with you. And so with that, So today I'm here with Kerri Regan, who is the director of the Masters of International Business program. We're also joined with Carrie Fraser, who is our application advisor. So we'll go into it a little bit later in this presentation, but when you apply into any of our programs here at Smith School of Business, you get assigned an application advisor. And what Carrie Fraser's role is to help you through the whole application process, ensuring that you're making all the deadlines, getting all your supportive documents in on time so that you can join us in the Masters of International Business program. And as I indicated too, it's a very fun webinar because we get to introduce you to Marcus, Noel, and Haley. There are three of our 82 students who have joined the Masters of International Business program this September. What we're hoping to do for this webinar is really just have a discussion. So Kerri Regan and myself will be asking the three students to introduce themselves, talk about their background, like what undergrad did they do, why did they choose the MIB program, and we really want to make this an opportunity for all of you to be able to have conversations while the students are here on the webinar. That being said, if for some reason you think of a question after the webinar, there are always ways to get in contact with all of our students. One of the things that we do here at Smith with the MIB program is we have ambassadors for the program. So there is a spot on our website where you can actually go and ask questions to any one of our students who have volunteered to be an MIB ambassador. So you may be wondering, what is a Masters of International Business? And it's a program that was designed for students that have an undergrad in business. That being said, if you don't have an undergrad in business, that's okay. We still accept students. There's just a few other things that we would be looking at for your application. What we're hoping for is in the curriculum that all the students follow, people have a foundation in business. So that's why we typically look for students who have had an undergrad or have had courses in the business discipline. And so the thing about Smith and the way that we run our MIB program is it gives you an opportunity to stand out in the crowd. So you've just graduated with the rest of your students from your undergrad, and how are you going to stand out in the crowd when it comes to applying for careers? We think the Masters of International Business program is a very suitable degree for that purpose. It allows you an opportunity to work with an actual company. So all of the students are in the midst of actually finalizing their 901 consulting project. What company are they going to be working for? So as they're going through the program, they're actually getting experience working as a consultant, as in a team-based learning environment. The class that we have that started with us in September, it's 82 students. They represent 19 different nationalities. It's a very diverse and unique program. As we always say here at Smith, the MIB program is sort of choose your own adventure. We will talk about the different ways students are able to finish the program. As you can appreciate, there's actually 33 different academic plans that students can take. And Haley, Noel, and Marcus will be talking about what program they're registered in and what does their actual academic plan look like. As I said, we are a team-based learning environment, so we place all students into core teams, so they're completing all of their core courses together. Again, we find that when we talk to alumni, when they get out into the working world, what are the things that were valuable to them? And team-based learning is very valuable because, as you can appreciate, when you get into the working world, you don't get to choose who you're working with, but this program allows for it to be a safe environment for you to develop skills that will help you in your careers. As well, there's the international component. So no matter which academic path you're completing, you have to do an international exchange. So there's not just diversity within the classroom experience. You're also asked to go on exchange to one of our partner universities. For the single degree path, we have over 55 partners that students can select from. If you're interested in a double degree, so earning 2 degrees in 2 years, we have 10 partner universities located in Europe and then also in South America. So with that, I'm going to introduce our students. Again, we want this to be a very interactive webinar. We want you to have an opportunity to talk to students who are just like you in regards to finishing your undergrad and what is next. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Marcus, who will be able to introduce himself, explain where his undergrad degree was from and why and how did he find the MIB program.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcus. I just finished my undergrad at McMaster University. I specialized in accounting there. Over the years, I always wanted to do a little bit something different, and I always wanted to do more of an international component, and I stumbled upon Queen's program, and it really stood out to me, not only for the team-based learning, which was something I was very unfamiliar with because I was so used to individualistic components, but it was really I would guess, the mixture of nationalities we have here at Smith. I would say I've never been in a class with so many different personalities. And even though sometimes they do conflict in the sense of differentiating opinions, I look at it as an opportunity for growth, and it's something that I would really have never experienced back in my undergrad. So yeah, I would say everything has been amazing so far, and really it's just an environment to push yourself to grow.
Perfect. Thank you, Marcus. Oh, and then the second individual that we would like to introduce you all to is Noelle.
Thank you. So my name is Noelle. I graduated as well this year from Mount Royal University with a degree of Bachelor's Business Administration. I concentrated in marketing. And the way I kind of find out about this program was in my undergrad, I did an exchange out to the United Kingdom, fell in love with traveling, spent a couple months after my exchange backpacking. When I made it back to Canada, I was actually wanting to do a master's because I loved being abroad so much. So I was originally looking to do the complete master's fully abroad until it was brought to my attention that there was this amazing program where I could not only be able to study in Canada, but I could go to multiple different places. And then I decided to do the double degree with a sec just to kind of do more of that international component. And it was one of the only programs I could find where I could do 2 degrees.
Thank you, Noelle. And the next individual we'd like to introduce you to is Haley.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Haley Conrad, and kind of ironically, I was actually reflecting on this about a year ago, and I think I first stumbled upon this program about a year ago and joined this webinar on a whim, and I started my application process right after this. So it's been quite a year, but it's a year that's been excellent and fun. So I recently graduated from Western University. I majored in management and legal studies. And I had a fantastic time there. I will say that that program was very domestic focused and very theoretical. And so I looked to this program and I saw an opportunity to broaden my horizons and expand on the business and legal knowledge that I already had and take it into the international realm. I've always loved to travel, and I thought the opportunity to combine education as well as an opportunity to learn and live abroad as well was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up as well. My undergrad was very individualistic, as Marcus mentioned as well. And the core teams have turned into an incredible blessing. I absolutely have found some great friends in this program, and my core team, we've worked on some excellent projects so far. So it is truly an all a win-win, and I'm happy that I chose this program.
Perfect. Thank you, Haley. And I'm just wondering if we could go back to Marcus, if you could talk about what degree path you're in and what does your academic life look like here at Smith?
Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So I'm on the single degree here. Going on exchange to the University of Bocconi. Essentially, the way that works is that it's one semester here in Kingston and then one semester in Milan. And yeah, is there anything else I missed?
I have a question, Marcus. Can you talk a little bit about the sort of application process? Because it's a little bit different in the single degree than in the double, and maybe Noelle and Haley can talk a little bit about what that double degree application and motivation look like. But, you know, as Jen mentioned, we have over 50 different options to choose from. So can you talk a little bit about what were some of the motivating factors for you to choose to go to Italy? I mean, Bocconi obviously is a great school, but how did that sort of factor into your planning for the program and beyond?
Yeah, for sure. So kind of to backtrack to, I guess, the process, Kerri, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe everyone goes through the same original application process and then you choose single degree or double degree. For the single degree, the components in the summer, you do your exchange rankings and I did my top 3. I believe that you can go up to 5 though. And then from there, don't exactly know how they get selected, but you get put into the interview process, and then from there, I believe it was on one of the first days, I don't want to spoil how they reveal it, but they reveal to what exchange program that you go to. In terms of why I chose Bocconi, they offered a lot of courses that I would really not be able to take here that I guess are specialized within their domestic realm. So for example, there was a management consulting program that I was really interested in. The other one was, I believe it was family business in Italy. It was just a lot of, I guess, courses I've never been exposed to before. And as each exchange school has different courses that are tailored to them, Bocconi really stood out to me based off my personal preferences.
Awesome. Thank you. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll redirect then to either Haley or Noelle. And you did sort of talk a little bit about, you know, how the double degree you felt stood out. Again, we have a number of great options in our double degree portfolio. So how did you narrow that down? And, you know, it is unique the way that we admit into the double degree because we do that at the time of admission. So when students are committing to the program, they know whether they're committing to a 1-year or a 2-year option. And because the number of spots in the doubles in particular are quite limited, we do sort of admit into those as we go through the cycle. But perhaps one of you could sort of talk about, of the options available, was it geography? Was it concentration within the program? Some of the additional, what were the things that really stood out to you as you contemplated, once you kind of made the commitment to, I'm in this for 2 years, how did that sort of get narrowed down?
Sure, that's a great question. I'm happy to take that one first. So Noelle and I actually chose the same double degree option at the ESSEC Business School. And I think what really made ESSEC stand out for me, firstly, Sergi is really close to Paris, and I think France is an excellent location to live in. But this is a degree where there is a mandatory internship component. And ESSEC is a school with a tremendous network of opportunities for this internship. You can do it in in Asia, Europe. You can even come back to Canada and do it. But I wanted to step away from this 2-year program with obviously an improved and better education, but as well as some tangible work experience that would really help differentiate myself and give some tangible takeaways that I can bring into future job interviews or what have you. So I thought it would really set a really great platform for whatever I wanted to launch into after this degree.
Yeah, so going on that as well, a reason that I chose a sec was the chair component. So in your first semester at a sec, you kind of do your basic core classes, and then you have the opportunity for that second semester to apply to a chair, which is very similar to like a specialty. And when I was researching them, I did my undergrad in marketing, and I was like, oh, that'd be really fun to continue. And like Haley mentioned, Sergi is so close to Paris, and it's a fantastic place for marketing. I kind of wanted to live out my Emily in Paris moment. And then ASEC had some fantastic marketing chairs. So I figured that that could be very beneficial for me in the long run. And then something that I also really enjoyed about ASEC was they also gave me the opportunity where next semester here at Queen's, I'm able to do an exchange as well. So I'm able to do 2 exchanges. So next semester, I'm going to Católica School of Business and Economics out in Lisbon, and then follow that up with a year in France.
That sounds so exciting. Honestly, Jen, I think our lives are a bit lame as compared to our students. But thank you. Lots of really great points there. Certainly, Marcus, that extension of access to courses, and Haley and Noelle both mentioned it as well, in terms of there were just courses being offered at a partner school that maybe aren't accessible. And so by extending your degree to one of these top partners, that are amongst the best in their respective countries, you really start to round out your academic profile to, just include all of this great content. So hopefully what you've taken from that is that there are lots of considerations that go into selecting your degree path. And, as Jen mentioned, this is very much a choose your own adventure, and there's lots of opportunities for choice because there's just lots of selection available. But it really comes down to what is it that you're really hoping to get out of either this 1 or 2 years, and what doors are you hoping it will open. So thank you for that insight. All right, Jen, back over to you.
If at any point of time you have questions for the students, feel free to throw them into the question and answer tab. We will be happy to read them out to the students, and then you can get their perspective of what it's been like to be in the program. So I think I'm going to continue on with our slides for now, just so that we can talk a little bit more about the different ways students can complete the program. So as you can see with this slide, it looks like a lot of information, but the 3 phase 1, 2, and 3 in the middle there, all students would complete that. So all students start the MIB program doing their core courses in the fall semester. They get to select an elective or 2 electives in the fall semester. Actually, the 3 students that are joining us just got back from reading week. So we give everybody a reading week in November because we do everything in module delivery. So the students actually have just completed, a majority of them have completed 4 courses in 8 weeks. So 2 courses in 4 weeks, 2 courses in 4 weeks, a reading week. And now they're just back in time to do 2 more courses in 4 weeks, and then they'll be on a holiday shutdown. Phase 2, again, depending on what sort of track you're on, students can select to go on a long-term exchange to one of our partner universities, or you do have the option to come back in the winter semester, do a few more electives with us, and then do a short-term exchange in the summer semester. The summer semester is left for either those short-term exchanges and also the 901 consulting project. So a big part of the program and what the students are in the midst of selecting is consulting, a consulting project. So as a core team, they're going to be working with a company and doing a project for that company throughout the whole year that they're here with us. Year 1 and year 2, those are with the double degrees. So depending on what partner university you select to do the double degree, so you earn not just our Masters of International Business program, but you also earn an MSc from a partner university. So we have 3 partners that students would actually start at the partner university. So INCAI in Costa Rica, Mannheim in Germany, and then also Bocconi in Italy. Those 3 double degree students would actually be at the the partner university, and then their second year would be with us here at Smith. Year two, at the end of this slide, those are the other 7 double degree partners that we have. So similar to what Haley and Noelle are doing, they're with us for this year. Noelle is going on exchange, but then their second semester will be at the partner university. So that's something to keep in mind when looking at just the different components of the program. And with talking about the module delivery, I'm just wondering if Haley, Noelle, or Marcus, if any of you guys have any sort of feedback or, information on how that's been doing module delivery instead of doing a semester of courses that you would have done in your undergrad.
Sure, I can handle this one, or I guess start off. So 2 courses in 4 weeks might seem a little intimidating right off the bat, but or comparing to a traditional semester-based 10-week program. But I will say that instead of taking 5 courses over 10 weeks, we are taking 2 courses over 4 weeks. So basically every day you flip-flop between what course you are taking, and it becomes much more manageable. And all your classmates are in the same boat. Most of your projects are team-based, and there are obviously some individual ones as well, but the course load is very manageable to complete just because you are only balancing 2 main priorities at a time. So 4 weeks just flies by, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Haley.
I would agree with Haley on it. It's the 4 weeks. At first I was a little daunted and like scared by it, but honestly, I've learned to actually prefer it over what I did in my undergrad, because then I can focus all of my attention on my 2 classes and then really understand and kind of grasp everything that I'm being taught, and then be able to deliver something I'm proud of, versus having 5 classes and kind of trying to juggle too many things.
Perfect. Thanks, Noelle.
Yeah, just to quickly add on, I also do prefer this style of learning a lot more, just because honestly, it just keeps everything fresh. I find that in my undergrad, it was just very elongated, and within this program, you get the content that you need to, and you move on, and it keeps me engaged because I always want to actually listen to what the professor's saying, rather than I'm going to be doing this for the next 4 months. I'm sure I can get it like the content another week. So yeah, I definitely prefer this style a lot more.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marcus.
Just a quick follow-up question maybe for our panel, because I think Jen and I, who've now been with the program for many years, are, despite the fact that we already know it's going to happen, are always still surprised about the intensity of the connection that happens amongst the students in the program, and how quickly that develops. And just hearing you talk about kind of the intensive delivery, the amount of time that you spend with each other in the classroom, and, how that lends itself to, creating those connections. But I also feel, again, that there is a common set of values that tend to exist amongst our MIB students, this open-mindedness, this cultural curiosities. We've heard about some of that today, but I'm wondering if any of you could also speak to just some of the common themes that you think might bring the class together. That we have this sort of work hard, play hard mentality, I think, that exists at Queen's, but I think MIB really embodies that in a lot of ways. And a few of you have talked about just the nature of some of the relationships that you've curated during your time here. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts to share with regard to just that, and that connectedness, and how that plays off inside the classroom, and, in terms of your ability to learn from each other.
Absolutely. I was even speaking to Jen right off the bat in this program, and I went through an undergrad orientation week the same way that we actually have our own version, like an MIB version, for the first week or 2 of the program. And I reflected back, and I truly formed some meaningful connections quite quickly. And I will say that's because, or what I think it's because, everyone chose to be here for a reason, and everyone chose a team-based multicultural program. And so everyone's coming in with the mentality that we want to get the most out of it. And with that, it involves working with people that you might not you might not otherwise have met in your life, and it's an incredible opportunity. And so the conversations that we have are so unique from my undergrad, and it's matched in and out of the classroom, particularly in the classroom where so much of our learning and discussions happen in a team, and the lectures, they're less lectures and more interactive discussions facilitated by the professor. People really aren't afraid, and um, opinions are really valued. So we get so many different perspectives, and perspectives that I honestly never would have heard. And it's truly an unparalleled experience, and it's something really unique to be a part of. And honestly, I've learned so many really random, unique things that I can now take with that and apply that to my real life. And that's really exciting.
Thank you, Haley.
Yeah, I would say that this program, I think the first 2 weeks, they kind of did a big orientation week, like Haley mentioned. It was so meaningful for me. I started my undergrad during COVID, and I kind of spent the first like 2 years half online, never really seeing anybody. So I wasn't super used to having that big like orientation week. So coming here and being able to meet everyone was so nice. Everyone, like Haley mentioned before, came here kind of on like similar reasons. We all wanted to learn. We all wanted to not only like learn academics, but learn about the world, be able to travel and kind of make these connections. And it's been so lovely. My core team, we've gotten along so well. We just had reading week, like was mentioned earlier, and I know a few of the girls from the program ended up actually coming with me to Calgary, and I got to show them my hometown. I know Haley was there as well. We just didn't cross paths. But it's been super cool to see how all of these friendships has kind of been formed, and it's with people from all over the world that normally would not have gotten that chance to meet each other.
Yeah, I would say when I came for MIB for a day last year, it was very visible, the cohesiveness within the program, and it's one of the major reasons why I did choose this program. Once I entered the program, I think once you realize that everyone's in a new and uncomfortable situation, it bonds you together even more. And from there, I believe that expedited the process of us all becoming like one big family. And from there, once you realize that, you're all in this together, the friendships really bloom extremely quickly. And from that, I would say these people that I've known for 3 months, it feels like I've known them for 4 years.
Yeah, it's so true. And again, I think Jen and I know every year it's going to happen, and yet we're always still surprised at how quickly those bonds form, and just the authenticity of those connections. And that doesn't mean that you're going to see eye to eye with all 81 other people in your class, and you're going to have different approaches. But I think that, the MIB students just tend to be really good at keeping that in perspective and having an appreciation for differing opinions. And again, not that you necessarily have to embrace or agree with everything, but you're open to hearing it, and it helps kind of inform and shape the way you see things moving forward. And honestly, it's I think what makes our graduates so incredibly special and sought after actually by industry, because that open-mindedness, that ability to work with differing people, and people from different backgrounds and with different perspectives is just so what the world needs right now. So I'm going to say it, the world needs more MIBs, quite frankly. So really excited to have you all joining us today. So Jen, maybe I'll throw it over to you. It's maybe a good segue in terms of, why do students come here? Obviously, there's all kinds of great things that you develop and building out subject matter expertise. But I think all three of our panelists today that ultimately this is a way to skill up to ultimately land a better job at the end of the day. And so what would we do for that?
Yeah, so not only are the students doing their academics throughout the fall semester, there's Career Advancement Center. There are colleagues who work here in the building, and they're specialized in helping students land jobs afterwards. So they've actually built out curriculum. So the students are doing their academic curriculum with the MIB program, but they're also doing the career curriculum throughout the fall semester. And those master classes and the workshops that the Career Advancement Center hosts help students with building their resumes, help building how to network, because as you can appreciate, networking isn't a known thing for all cultures. And so throughout actually the summer months before students get here at the end of August, and then throughout the months into December, the coaches and experts within the Career Advancement Center are helping those students. And for a majority of our students, they go straight from their undergrad into the MIB program, so they don't have a whole lot of work experience, but that's okay because they get lots of exposure to alumni that are working in different industries. It's actually next week we're taking the whole class to Toronto, to our Toronto facility, and it's going to be a full day of having roundtables and conversations with alumni who were just doing their MIB program not too long ago and now working in different industries. So we always say for your students to be successful within the MIB program, it's not just academically, but it's also landing a job afterwards. And where do students land jobs? Anywhere in Canada, also in Europe. We have alumni that are working in all different countries around the world. It's not unusual for students to contact either Kerri or myself to find out, do we have anybody working in such an industry, like let's say finance in Frankfurt, or do we have somebody who's working in the tech industry in Milan or marketing in Milan? And so it's not unusual for us to reach out to alumni to make those connections for the students to help with careers. And as Kerri indicated not too long ago, we do sort of have this mentality of work hard, play hard. And so part of the curriculum that we provide to the students are activities. So during program launch, we took the students canoeing, and we took them on a boat cruise. Throughout the semester, we held a cultural night. So we try and embrace the fact that not only should students be doing well in academics, but they should be socializing. So we try and help and support the whole class with those sorts of events. We have a student exec council that helps us with events. Not too long ago for Halloween here in Kingston, it's called Fort Fright, where you can go to Old Fort Henry and get scared. I don't know why people would do it, but a majority of our class did. I certainly wouldn't be able to. I get scared sometimes just looking in the mirror. So, but there's types of events that we do hold because we do find that it helps build that community that we are talking about and the Smith and MIB family. And so again, just personalized touches. So we have our Career Advancement Center for individuals like Marcus and Noel who applied for exchange. We have our colleagues in the Center for International Management. They do all kinds of advising in regards to, you know, you're a student that's really interested in specializing in marketing. So what partner universities should you be looking at? So our colleagues within the Center for International Management really help with that sort of advising and that personal touch. The Career Advancement Center. So again, all of our colleagues that are working with the students to help them land a job at the end of the program. And then of course, as I was saying at the beginning of this, we have Kerri Fraser, who's our application advisor. And so what she does is she helps you stand out from the crowd in regards to your application. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Kerri, who can talk to you guys in regards to admissions into the program.
Lovely. Thanks, Jen. So my name is Kerri Fraser, and I'm the application advisor for the Master of International Business program. So as Jen mentioned, my role is to really work with all of our applicants throughout the application process and help them create a strong application file to present to the admissions committee. So for this program, we are looking for candidates who have strong communication and interpersonal skills. We're looking for candidates who show strong leadership skills and who really have the interest and ability to work as part of a team. As we mentioned, this is a team-based program, so we're really looking for those individuals who thrive working as part of that team-based environment. We're also looking for students who are really curious and excited to learn about other cultures and to work with individuals from other cultures. Not only do you get that international experience when you're on exchange, but you get a very international experience here in the classroom at the Smith School of Business. So in terms of admission requirements, ideally we're looking for individuals who have completed an undergrad degree in business or commerce, along with a core set of business courses. So if you have completed a degree, but not in business, you would be required to have 4 business courses. So we'd be looking for Intro to Marketing, Intro to Finance, Macroeconomics, and Financial Accounting. So if you don't have an undergrad degree in business, you would also need to submit a competitive GMAT or GRE score. If you do have that business degree, but you haven't been able to maintain a minimum of a B+ or a 3.3 GPA in your final 2 years of your undergrad, you would also be required to submit a GMAT or GRE. So all of these specific admission requirements can be found on our website. It is important to note that work experience is not a requirement for this program. This program is designed to do in the early stages of your career, either typically right out of your undergraduate degree or within 2 years. So in terms of the application process, there are several components to the application process. And like I mentioned, I work with candidates to build that application file over time and really help guide them throughout the application process. So as I receive pieces of the application file, I'm in touch with the candidate just so that they're aware of the next step in the process and where they're at. Once the application file is completed, we schedule an interview and the file is then reviewed by the admissions committee, and candidates typically receive a decision within about 10 days of the interview. So we do offer a very personalized approach to the application process, and I work closely with all applicants throughout the process. I'm always happy to provide support and guidance as I can throughout the application process, whether it be via phone calls, emails, a Zoom call. Always happy to have those conversations with candidates and help answer any questions that they may have throughout the application process. There is no formal application deadline. However, we do need to ensure that we're allowing adequate time for any international students to obtain those required visas or study permits. So in terms of specific pieces for the application file, the very first step is just to complete the brief application form on our website. You can also submit your resume and transcript from there. From the website. In terms of your resume, please ensure you're including any travel or exchange opportunities, any intern experience, really anything like that that helps you stand out from other applicants. That will certainly help strengthen your file. Once I've received the application, I then conduct a preliminary assessment to determine if you would be a suitable candidate for the program. If you are a suitable candidate, then we'd certainly move forward with the application process. And at that time, we would need to see your references. We'd also be looking for your cover letter. Cover letter is really your chance to introduce yourself to the admissions committee. In the cover letter, you'd be outlining skills that you bring to the program, why you're interested in this program, and really how you hope this program will help you reach your future career goals. If you're interested in applying to the double degree, the cover letter is where you would clearly indicate interest in the double degree program and specifically why you are interested in that double degree option. Another component of the application process is to complete the video essay. This is done on an online platform. You're given 3 questions, a short amount of time to prepare your answers, and then you respond your answers on camera. So all of these pieces together, they make up your application file. And it's really my job to work closely with candidates throughout the application process to help put together a strong application file and keep the candidate informed in terms of what pieces are required and what pieces are outstanding. So if you are at all interested in this program, simply, again, you can just complete the application form on our website, submit your resume and transcript, and from there, I'd be in touch to determine next steps and help answer any questions that you may have. So I do look forward to hearing from you, and back over to you, Jen.
Thank you, Kerri. We do have a couple questions that have come in. So there is one question in regards to a student that is applying for the single degree. They're an international student. They're just wondering if the program would allow them to be eligible to apply for their postgraduate work permit. And I can answer that question. Yes, it absolutely does allow you to apply for your postgraduate work permit, be it the single degree or the double degree. And then we have another question in regards to
Sorry, Jen, do you mind if I just add something to that?
Yep. Yeah.
Just, for anyone who is on the call today and is an international student who's thinking about applying, I fully appreciate there's been a lot of changes, a lot of information that's been floating around with regard to, you know, Canadian study permits and how that leads to postgraduate. I want to sort of just reaffirm that a lot of the changes made by the Canadian government have really prioritized, first of all, university education, but secondly, master's level education. So some of the changes that have been made have actually led to students in a 1-year program acquiring a longer study permit or work work permit rather post-grad. At minimum, you can expect a year, but the most recent changes have actually led to some students securing a 3-year permit after 1 year of study. It is still the final say of the border agent who is processing your application, but a university master's level degree does at minimum guarantee you a year, but it could be up to 3 years. So I know that there's been a lot of information out there, and that's maybe caused a bit of ambiguity, but I really want to stress that Canada still very much values our international students. We know what you bring in terms of that different perspective that we talked about earlier and is so appreciated in our environment, but more broadly here, and that there are pathways to stay and work here afterwards. So just wanted to follow up on that, and thank you for asking that question.
Thanks, Kerri. We do have a question for the students. So could you provide some insights about your life in Kingston, housing, things to do? What has your experience been like so far this semester?
Okay, I guess I can start us off here. I would say one of the benefits of actually only taking 2 courses at a time and doing a lot of group work is that it does leave time some weekends and as well as in the night or really in the morning to do whatever you're interested in. Kingston's a fantastic place to live. I'm personally a bit of a foodie, so I've really been enjoying the food scene here. There's a lot of super unique restaurants here. Housing wise, there we have some resources, but I actually found the student house that I'm living in through Facebook Marketplace, which is pretty common for people in our program. And also, I just want to say that you are a master's student, but you do get access to everything that Queen's has to offer. So personally, I rowed for my undergrad at Western, and starting my master's, I switched to the other side of the sport. I've actually become a Queen's rowing coach. But there's a wide variety of clubs and sports teams that are at your disposal that you could use and take advantage of in your time here. So the world is your oyster here, truly.
Thanks, Haley. Noelle, Marcus, do you have anything to add?
I would say life in Kingston, I definitely have liked it, but it did take an adjustment from what I was used to just because it's such a new environment. So I'm not gonna lie when it comes to that. So far I've really enjoyed it though, especially being right by the water and all the events that Smith has hosted for the MIB students has really helped, I would guess, the transition. And again, also really enhanced the bond that we share between students. So once Smith allowed us to have those bonding interactions, it allowed us to kind of go off and do our own things together. I would say, yeah, just in summary, housing was a little bit difficult, but there are resources that Queen's University actually does provide, and that's how I found my house. Even though it may be stressful at times, knowing that at the end of the day you will find somewhere to live, is honestly just reassuring, just because it can get stressful at times, but knowing that there are resources that the university provides definitely has helped.
Thanks, Marcus.
Totally agree with Marcus. It did take a little bit of time for me to adjust coming here. I think I even talked to Jen about this. Coming from Western Canada to here was, I didn't think there was going to be a big difference, but there was some differences which took a little bit to get used to. Similarly, I found my house on Facebook Marketplace. Just for all the incoming students, just be careful on there because there are some scams. So if something seems suspicious, always trust your gut first. But I would say Kingston is a fantastic place to live. Everything's really nearby to each other. Being a Queen student, we get the bus pass, so that's made life very convenient to get around to places that would be a little bit farther to get to or harder to get to without a car.
Thank you. And then we have 2 separate questions, and Kerri Fraser, I'm just wondering if you could answer them. The one question is in regards to scholarships, if there's scholarships available. And then the second question, is it possible to submit a GMAT or a GRE score after submitting the application? And when is it suggested for the application?
Sure, I can answer those questions, Jen. Thank you. So
Thanks.
for scholarships, I see the scholarship question specifically regarding international students. So yes, so all individuals who are offered acceptance to this program are considered for a Dean's Entrance Scholarship. Those scholarships are typically merit-based. They are limited. However, that is something that all offered individuals are offered access to. Students may be eligible for a general Queen's bursary, and international students, there is Empower financing, so there are loans available to international students through that program. That may be an option. We do have some Smith School Business Scholarships. They are specifically available to domestic students. So scholarships are quite unfortunately a little bit limited for this program, but there are a couple of options certainly that can be explored. In terms of the other question with regards to submitting the GMAT or GRE, so how that would work is, yeah, so if you were to apply to the program, I would review your resume and transcript. If I determined you're an eligible candidate for the program, perhaps you didn't have the GPA we're looking for, or perhaps you didn't have a business degree and you needed that GMAT or GRE score, then yes, I would ask that to be submitted. If you've already written it, you can submit it to me right away. If you have not yet written the test, then quite often a candidate would then take the time, prepare for and write that admission test and forward me the score when they receive it. We are quite early in the admission cycle at this time. This program starts at the end of August each year. And like I mentioned, we don't have a strict admission deadline, other than we do really need to be conscious of dates for our international students in that they allow adequate time in the spring to get the required visas and study permits. So if you were to apply to the program at this time, determine that you needed to write the GMAT, you could, take a couple months, prepare for the GMAT, submit the score to me in the new year, and then we could proceed from there with the application process.
Thank you, Kerri. And then we have one other question that is asking, could you please elaborate a bit more on the consulting project that has been mentioned in the session? Is it the same as the Smiths Group Business Project and the one incoming double degree students will do as well? And so, yes, so the 901 consulting project, as we indicated earlier, we place all students into core teams. So students find out who is on their core team at the beginning of program launch. And then through the fall semester, they get to know each other, and then they find out what projects are available. By the time students complete the project for the company, which would be in June or July during the summer months, students have done probably close to about 500 hours of consulting work. Sometimes the students will bring their own projects to Smith and they talk to their core team. Noelle, I'm just wondering if you wanted to talk quickly about the project that you and your team will be working on.
Yeah, so for the consulting project, I know my team, we kind of sat down because we do actually get a list of clients that are willing to work with us. And we kind of sat down and looked at them, and then none of them really sparked a big interest for any of us. We all kind of decided we wanted to work on something that would, that we were all passionate about, and something that would like look good in the future for us. So I know we all decided one weekend we would kind of just utilize our own individual networks, take 2 days, see what we could bring to the table. And then using my network, I was able to find a client. They are a Canadian couple who moved to Italy and then bought land out in Tuscany. And basically what we're doing for them is we are helping them create a brand new hospitality business for them. We are helping them through marketing strategy, finance, how to create this hotel, how to get clients in and customers in year round, marketing strategies, management campaigns. So it's something that my entire team, we all have different skills. So it's something that we can all utilize our skills in.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, so students are able to either select from the projects that our colleague brings forward to the students, or if students have a project they want to work on, they can also do that, and they earn credits for it as they go through the program. So hopefully that answered your question. Any further questions from anybody? Oh, yeah, Kerri.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up and say, like, the project course is designed, as you've heard, to provide students with an opportunity to apply their skills in a real world situation. Certainly feedback from alumni as they exit the program are just, it really is a jewel in the context of the program because of that. A bulk of the work that's done on the project is actually done while students are not only completing other items, but are globally dispersed. And so when you think about how global business works, oftentimes you are very much geographically dispersed from your teammates, from people that you're working with on certain projects. And so the very realness, real worldness, if you will, of this is designed to really help students, again, further differentiate themselves as they're exiting the program. So has its ups and downs, its challenges, but I think when you find, like Noelle was talking about, something you can collectively feel really passionate about. I mean, who doesn't feel passionate about a hospitality business in Tuscany? Like that's rough. Anyway, so, but lots of great examples of that. And your company can literally be located anywhere in the globe. We've had students working with companies in Malaysia, in South America, across Europe. Some students work with companies based in Toronto that are looking at, you know, international opportunities. So you really, provided the scope of the work you're doing for that company aligns with the course outcomes, learning outcomes, you really do have a lot of autonomy as a team to select a project that's going to align with your goals. So it's very exciting. We get lots of great feedback from the companies who work with our students. The advisors that are assigned to each of the teams also have incredible feedback about just the diversity of skills and talent that the students bring. And I think the students take a lot from it as well.
Haley, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add my own little perspective to this as well. I think it's truly an unparalleled opportunity to figure out what you do and maybe necessarily don't like, so you don't so you can leave this program knowing maybe I don't want to waste my time or get into this field because I did some work in this and maybe it's not something I'm super interested in. So it's a great opportunity to like make mistakes, learn, work within your team, and then just like leave this program knowing, okay, this is something that I'm really interested in. Let me tackle this industry head on, or okay, maybe I'll leave this one for another day. This isn't my thing. So a great opportunity to really figure yourself out as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Haley. So we did have another question that came through. Can you share what types of jobs graduates have landed and what is the success rate for job placement post-graduation? And so a majority of our students will go into consulting. So we see students going into consulting. We see them working in the finance sector. We see them in the tech industry, in marketing, brand management. So it really depends on what your focus is. And as I said earlier in this webinar, students are landing jobs here in Canada, but they're also landing jobs abroad. So we definitely have alumni that are working around the world. And then we have one more question. Do the students have LinkedIn or ways that we can reach out to follow up questions? So I believe all of the students that are on this call are ambassadors, so you can find them on our website. But definitely, I believe that they're all on LinkedIn. If there's ever a time that you have more questions, feel free to reach out to us at Smith. We're always happy to make those connections with our ambassadors and our students.
Yeah, and I'll pop a link into, I'll just put it in the chat there to our student ambassadors. Jen, I don't know, I know we're running out of time, but I wondered if each of our panelists would share a piece of advice to someone who's on our call today, who's contemplating whether or not this is the right option for them. What would you potentially have said to yourself a year ago this time about whether or not this is the right option, or some of the things that maybe were going through your head and advice you could pass along?
I could go first. I would say if you're doing something that's uncomfortable and that's new, you're doing something that's good and something that you're not going to regret. Um, because this was something that was so different from that I was used to, I hesitated a lot and I was very nervous about it. But being here now, I don't regret it at all, and I'm very thankful to be in the position I am today with who knows what opportunities to come. So yeah, I'm very thankful for the opportunity I have right now.
Yeah, I would say to take the leap. It's a fantastic experience. Like Marcus mentioned, everyone kind of comes in here and is very nervous. So you're not alone in this. You're going to make so many amazing friends and get access to so many amazing opportunities. So even though you might be a little scared, take the leap and then you will be thanking yourself a year from now.
I was also in a similar position. I was wrapping up my undergrad, but I knew that my educational journey was not complete. And I was just really trying to hone in on what I actually wanted to do the following year. And again, I was so thankful for stumbling upon this program on a whim and watching this probably exact webinar or some version of it from last year. So I would say I would encourage you guys to again take the risk and leverage everything you can out of this program, make the most out of the Career Advancement Center sessions, and connect with your professors as well. Everyone here is so kind, and everyone you will get access to a lot of networks and a lot of alumni that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. So fantastic opportunity, and I would really suggest you apply.
Thank you. I'm just conscious of the time. We are getting close to 1 o'clock. So with that, I want to say thank you so very much to Haley, Noelle, and Marcus for joining us on this call and for sharing your insights of what it was like to apply to the program, what it's been like to be in the program. For any of the attendees, if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to us here at Smith. We're always happy to get you connected to either the students that are on this webinar or to the students within the class. Kerri, thank you for joining me as panelists as well for the webinar. I appreciate your support. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you so much, everybody. Take care.